What's going on, everybody? This is a Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete, and I'm going to break my normal cycle on my Thursdays. I try to do product reviews and some other prepping topics, but today, because of the weather that just rolled in, just as a timestamp, it is December 4th of 2025. I want to give everybody a refresher and a reminder about severe winter weather, right? Right now, as of today, they have, I know Hudson Valley, prepping and survival, and the cat just attacked the Christmas tree. Hudson Valley, I know vision preparedness, a lot of folks up north, Prepper now, are reporting snow, ice, black ice on the road. So just a few things everyone needs to worry about. This is Puppy Cat, by the way. This is Bailey. And right now she thinks she's one of the dogs. She follows Stormy around, apparently. That's now her new buddy. And then there they go. In any case, at least they're not fighting with each other. In any case, a few things you need to watch out for. First of all, if you're traveling, whether it's for work, for the upcoming holidays, for the next week, and it may be like this for a while, check your inflation on your tires. Make sure you have the right oil, especially if you get into the sub-zeros. You do need to do an oil change with different types of oils so you don't have issues with that. Most of the modern engines can handle it. Make sure, I like to keep my tank as full as possible. Something my dad told me years ago, and it probably doesn't even apply anymore, but you're less likely to get condensation of water in a tank that's full of gas, if you catch my meaning. I think with the newer tanks and the new vehicles since, 30 years ago, that's not an issue. But again, doesn't hurt. Get your oil changes done, do your maintenance. Make sure your vehicle is ready to go. Most importantly, make sure your windshield wipers are in good shape, your tires are in good shape, and that your vehicle is capable of defrosting the windows. And please, whatever you do, if you are a new car owner and you have ice on your windshield, do not pour hot water on your windshield. People do this every year, and what it will do, it's like a glass in your kitchen that you put hot liquid in and then you put ice in there. It will crack your windshield, and then you'll have no windshield, and now you have a whole new problem, right? Use the heater from the vehicle or scrape it off. There are some sprays you can use. I've tried them. They kind of suck. I would also recommend having WD-40 or REM oil, which I use for my guns, or a key defroster in case you have one of the older style locks and your key, you need a key, you don't have a fob, and the keyhole locks up with ice. Getting a little WD in there, a little bit of petrochemical in there breaks up the ice pretty nicely. Make sure you have good treads on your tires, especially if you have a rear wheel drive vehicle, which most sedans are. Stop biting my foot, cat. Psycho kitten. Because that's going to cause a problem. If you have worn out tires on the rear and it's a rear wheel drive vehicle, I've done this even as an experienced driver. I took a little bit of liberty with my speed in a rainstorm and I spun out and into the grass. So that was my own reminder that to not be stupid. I should have known better, but it can happen. When you see Mustangs spin out, it's because they're rear wheel drive, but the engine's in front, so there's no weight in the back. Now, if you're driving a rear wheel drive pickup for whatever reason, I've actually seen guys take sandbags and throw it in the bed of the truck, and it weighs down the ass end of the truck, gives you more traction. Front wheel drive usually doesn't have that happen as much, but still check your tires regardless. I highly recommend making sure you bring a jacket on your person and have an extra one, as well as a blanket or an emergency blanket, those silver things, in your vehicle. In the event you get stuck somewhere, you want to have some water, you want to have some food, and you want to be able to keep yourself warm while you're out there. And again, I'm a fan, in this kind of weather, keep my tank over 3/4 as much as I can. Obviously, it's not always possible, but try to keep my tank topped off as much as I can while I'm on the road. Also check for alternate routes, and I'd recommend getting a cheap CB radio. You don't have to get one that you install into the vehicle itself. You could get one of those plugins so you can listen to the truckers, because the truckers are constantly talking to each other, and you can kind of listen in and see what it is they're seeing up ahead, so you can start making decisions before you even get to whatever wreck or obstruction has occurred on the highway. Last but not least, let people know where you are going. Now, so that if you don't show up, they'll be like, okay, this person should have been here. We're going to go find so-and-so and bring them back. Now, as far as your house, I've already covered on other videos covering your windows, insulating the house. I'd recommend having a jacket or fleece so you don't have to run the heater as high because everyone's bundled up. It saves you money on your heating costs. It also takes a little less wear and tear on your heating and AC system because you're not running it as hard. I would also remember to bring pets and plants into the house. Cover any pipes you have on the outside of the house. You get those little cover for your spigots. I don't know how effective they are, but they're nice to have, so stick them on there. Make sure that nothing freezes. If it stays under freezing for an extended period of time, a lot of you folks north of Oklahoma are going to experience that a lot this year, coming week or two. Keep your water running a little bit. That prevents icing in your pipes, in your PEX lines, whatever it is you have in your home, and it's just a smart play. Also, remember to, before you use your heater, inspect the heater, put a fresh filter, and if you think you're not sure if the heater's behaving correctly, get a professional in to look at it. The last thing you want to do is have carbon monoxide poisoning or kill someone because the heater was malfunctioning, but you didn't want to check it because it's not a big deal. Yeah, it could be a big deal. Speaking of carbon monoxide, if you lose power and you have to go to a generator, don't put it under a window or anything that will vent into the house. Put it away from your house so that the carbon monoxide does not enter the home. Most of the fatalities that we've seen here reported in Texas during freezes are carbon monoxide related. You do get car accidents, and falls and trips, stuff like that, but the vast majority are generator related, because even today they'll put it in the garage and crack the garage door. All you've done is made a carbon monoxide bomb in your garage. Get it outside, away from the windows. Me personally, you'd be better off just using a Jackery and then running the generator during the day to charge the Jackeries for the night, if that makes sense. If you have a Jackery, an EcoFlow, or an Opus, whatever power bank, the big ones, you can do that. If you don't own one, they have them on sale on Amazon. I'm not going to put a link today, but you can also you could look at my Amazon shop for the shit I've bought. You can also go to Harbor Freight. Costco is now carrying power packs as well with a solar panel. You're not going to get as much solar charging in the winter because it's cloudy, but you could charge it with the wall plug and then have it ready if you need it during the week. Anyway, that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Just a reminder, be smart. We do this every year, and every year someone dies of carbon monoxide, someone dies or gets hurt on a car wreck because they didn't do one of the basics. The fundamentals of preparedness are common sense things. Those are the most basic preps ever. And sadly, the more I live, the less I see people do this, because we just, as a society, have gotten so used to asking AI or Google what we need to do that people don't think for themselves. So take some time today if you can, or this weekend, and just make sure your ducks are in a row. I've got to dump some gasoline that I completely forgot about in a container. It does have stable, but it's been there for a hot minute, so I'm going to have to figure out where to dispose of that, and I'm going to refresh that can of gas. I probably need to pull my generator one last time and run it and turn it on, put a load on it just to make sure it's working. But anyway, so I got stuff to do as well. You, ladies and gentlemen, be good, be safe, be careful out there, and again, common sense, be smart with what you do. We'll talk to you later. Take care of yourselves.